Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my last video in terms of how CrossFit gyms in Ireland reacted to COVID-19. This video, we're going over to Dubai and we're talking to head coach of CrossFit Alioth, Sam Clark, and he's going to be telling us about how their precautions are going to be set for their gym opening very soon. So have a listen and enjoy. Here, and what gym do you work in?
Okay, my name is Sam Clark and I'm the head coach of CrossFit Alioth Dubai.
Thank you, Sam. Nice weather over there, even though it's not too bad in Ireland at the moment. Um, so, Sam, listen, I think a lot of people are going to be interested in kind of happening, or what's kind of happening in Dubai and their kind of restrictions being lifted and stuff like that. But just going back a couple of weeks, when did you guys actually close down? Not a specific date, but it was a couple of weeks ago. And what was the kind of process that you kind of had to go through to close down?
Okay, so I think this is now week 7 of our lockdown. So, yeah, I haven't been coaching in the gym for 7 weeks now. Um, we kind of heard word, it was kind of going around Dubai and the Middle East that gyms will be closing soon, but there was never kind of a date put on it. And then I think it was one Monday afternoon, we received a letter from the government to say that all fitness and gyms must pretty much close their doors as of now. So we kind of rang our boss, we explained the situation, and from there we just had to kind of go with the rest of the world and the rest of Dubai, and close our facility. I think we actually ran our lunchtime class, which was pretty full. They done the workout, and then at 2 p.m. we closed the doors.
Okay. And just to kind of give everyone an idea in terms of the restrictions you've had to kind of follow the last couple of weeks, what's been going on? Because it's obviously very, very different in Ireland, but in Dubai, so what's the kind of restrictions you've had to follow in terms of being at home and stuff?
Yeah, so I kind of feel like the rest of the world has gone a little bit easy compared to Dubai and the Middle East. Um, so we were on pretty much 24-hour lockdown in Dubai, and if we wanted to leave our house, we had to apply for a permit through the government. So every 3 days, we could leave our house for 3 hours to go and get groceries or go and get medical supplies, whatever it had to be. And that was very strict. If you decided to risk it, there's very heavy fines over here. So if you got caught, I think it was 2,000 dirham per person, so roughly €400. Um, but at the end of the day, it's the rules, it's the laws, and it's not really worth risking it. So we've been kind of having it a lot harder than back home in Ireland. Um, Recently, now last week, they have lifted that ban. So now we can leave our house during the day. It's still locked down from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Okay.
Um, and slowly they've started to reopen some things. So our malls and cafes, restaurants, they're open, but only up to, I think it's a 30% capacity. But still very high, like, rules and regulations. And you also have to wear a mask and gloves whenever you're leaving your house.
Yeah, the rules over there are crazy, man. As we were kind of chatting to before we kind of started recording this, but it's they definitely do it right in some ways as well. So that's interesting to hear. So like let's say restrictions are being slightly lifted, but then let's say going back then slightly to when you had to close the gym itself. What did you begin to offer clients then itself, like for them training? Obviously, they're locked inside their houses, like of four walls, which is very different than Ireland. That people could still train, 2 kilometers and stuff like that outside. So what did you offer clients in the gym?
So initially, whenever we closed the doors, I guess we probably didn't act quick enough, along with the rest of, like, probably gyms and other businesses. So we were still providing the programming online, and obviously that had to change straight away, where it was just obviously home workouts. Um, so that was fine for the initial, let's say, 5 to 7 days, and then what we found was more people have started to actually get equipment out here, and a lot of our members actually had some dumbbells, or they had maybe a rower or a bike. But I guess probably the big thing was kind of giving them as much as we could. So we decided we would start running like Zoom classes. So we run 4 Zoom classes every day,
Awesome.
just to give them a little bit more like interaction with the coaches, and just to see people and
Mm.
generally chat. So that's kind of been a big success for us so far. The next thing was offering individualized programming. So we have 5 full-time coaches in Alioth, and as you know, like every coach has their own kind of niche, their own kind of take on programming and what they do. So we kind of opened that out and said, look, if you want individualized programming structured to you and your goals and your needs and what equipment you have available, like reach out to one of the coaches or send us a message and we will pretty much assign you a coach. So that's been like good too. So some members have jumped on that. Also nutrition advice. So I guess it's more just accountability at the minute because people are stuck in their house. Most of them are just working still from home and they're sitting at a desk all day and they're not really leaving their apartment or their house. So I think people are getting into some bad habits. So it's kind of making sure people are still accountable and they're still eating healthy and eating good. And really just trying to give them as much as possible. We also do like a quiz every second week with the members on Zoom, which it's good fun. Like the coaches, we put together like various questions about general CrossFit, about the Middle East, general knowledge, whatever it's going to be, and we run like just some general quizzes, and they're good fun. They last for 2 hours, and it's just good to see the members, see their faces, and people can still interact like who they're in class with on a daily basis.
Yeah, no,
So that's kind of what we've been providing so far.
Yeah, you seem to be providing an awful lot. Like it's savage, and especially since people are so restricted, it's like it's amazing that they're still kind of keeping up the training. But I suppose they obviously need it. And like on that, like the members that are at home training and they've got their little bit of equipment. What's the kind of feedback from them? Like not regarding like the program, but just like in general life, like how are they finding it? Like training at home, doing home workouts away from the physical aspect of like seeing a coach or getting coached, or the meeting other people, as you say.
For the ones like we have all the members, like obviously we try to contact them via social media, via WhatsApp, and we try to stay in touch as much as possible because obviously there only is that small group of individuals that actually sign on to them Zoom classes. So yes, we run 4 classes a day, but normally we run like 9 classes throughout the day, and there's a lot of people that you don't see, and I find that those ones you don't see are the ones you just need to kind of keep in contact with, and we're like, okay, just making sure you're still okay, like how's training going. But most of them are still training, but I think what people are just missing is the actual facility and actually coming into the gym, and that's where they see the value. So some of them, they have no interest in doing a Zoom class. They don't think it's any kind of value for money or value in signing on for 60 minutes. Others love it. Others, you see the same faces at 5 p.m. every day, and they love just the interaction of just chatting to the coach, making sure, okay, yeah, you're kind of maybe screaming down the computer at them, saying like whatever's wrong with their form. But yeah, it's only for a select few. I think some people, yeah, they're still training away, but it's tough because all the workouts we kind of program for them is just body weight. And I think we're into week 7 of our lockdown over here. It's just getting a bit
repetitive,
kind of routine, kind of very samey, and they're just dying for them doors to open again. They just want to hold a barbell again, or they want to hold a dumbbell. So it has been tough
for them. Yeah, it is. And it's like, I'm finding that myself, like even when you're trying to program bodyweight workouts, like there's only so many movements you can do, and like so many, and if you've got like 7 days you've got a program for, it's a lot. Okay, cool. So then let's say you mentioned you've got 5 full-time coaches. They're obviously like, how are they doing? Like, because I've been talking to a few owners and we're kind of saying, okay, so that coach needs to be super motivated and like, obviously training people and spirits are high, but yet like they're locked indoors. They've probably affected in terms of their income and stuff like that. How are they doing?
Yeah, like we have like regular Zoom chats with our coaches. So like every Thursday morning at the end of the week, we always have a Zoom just to go through the programming for the week. We kind of have the same structure in terms of like what day we do what. We kind of log in, check up on everyone, make sure everyone's still surviving. But yeah, like I guess like our manager, he's married, he has kids. Miko, one of our other full-time coaches, like he lives by himself, but we still like message, we still try to interact. And then Catherine, who obviously a lot of people from back home will know, she is living with one of her friends. So it's just good to have someone there, because I guess at this kind of time in Dubai, if you're in a house or an apartment on your own, and you're just stuck in the same four walls, it would be tough. And then Rachel, her and her partner, they're like in their apartment together. But yeah, we're all doing well. We all are busy. We're trying to get stuff laid out for whenever we do open the doors again. Trying to update systems in the gym, and then yeah, we're kept busy with our own like one-to-one clients. So it's not like every day we're kind of waking up thinking what we're going to do. We still have tasks. We still have kind of jobs to fill.
So that's good to hear, man, because as I said, like, yeah, I think there's an awful lot of responsibility or expected out of coaches, fitness people, especially these days, during these times. But yeah, they can be finding it hard as well, especially in terms of like income and stuff. So we were kind of chatting there, and I've kind of reading a few bits during the week in terms of obviously with the restrictions being lifted, there has been some talk about possible procedures that gyms will have to follow when they open up back in Dubai, which obviously everyone's going to be interested in over here. So do you have any like information on that kind of stuff, or like, let's say, is there any thoughts that you guys will definitely implement, even just general procedures?
Yeah, so I guess initially we kind of got a letter at the weekend, and it kind of laid out a few like rules, regulations, and what we're expected to do. But that was more for like a global gym. It wasn't actually specific to like CrossFit or like group class. So that was kind of trending around Dubai and the Middle East for a few days, and everyone was kind of jumping on it saying we have to do this, and we were like, just everybody relax. That's not what our facility is. But then we got a letter, I think 2 days ago, and it started trending on social media, on Instagram, with kind of the phase one rules of what's going to happen. So I have it in front of me, and it kind of just lays out prior to opening what we have to do, and then our phase one upon opening, and then for our group classes. So for example, prior to opening, everything has to be like enhanced cleaned. So the whole place disinfectant, everything wiped down, barbells, rig, etc., all the machines. There has to be like a protocol put in place by the government. So we have to pretty much lay out and say the gym is going to be cleaned every evening after classes, and also after each class, equipment has to obviously be wiped down and cleaned. Then upon opening, kind of the phase one, it's going to be 50% capacity. So it hasn't kind of said how they're going to measure that, because obviously every gym is different. And I guess us over here, we've got the luxury of having quite a big facility, our warehouse. So that will probably benefit us more in terms of we hopefully will be able to get more people in our class. At the minute, we kind of run classes up to like roughly 20 people would be our cap. So if we can still run 10 per class, we'll be happy with that, and we can easily kind of get through that with our members. And then on top of that, we have to, I've got it in front of me, mark out boxes. So it hasn't exactly said what it's going to be yet, but as long as it's kind of 2 meters apart. So with the layout of our gym in Alioth, we can kind of structure that along both sides of the rig. So that should be fine for us. And then the last thing probably is our changing facilities. So there's no showers going to be used. You can use the bathroom, but that's it. And they're pretty much giving like a 90-minute window. So if it's a group class, they'll have 15 minutes before to come in and get ready, and then a 15-minute window after to if they need to change and then leave. Okay. So the rules they've brought out are we're kind of happy with them, to be honest. If that's what it's going to be, and that's what they say, okay, this is what you have to do whenever the doors open, like we can manage, and we'll be happy with that. And then yeah, I just hope that it's going to be in the next week or two, to be honest.
Yeah, so you don't have there's no confirmed date yet on that?
No confirmed date, but obviously we're in the second week of Ramadan, and just going by rumors and like our members and clients that do work for the government, I guess it's all just speculation at the minute, but we are thinking it's going to be after Ramadan, so hoping that it's going to be at the end of this month. But out here with Dubai and the government, everyone is very we don't get very much notice, so they could maybe just like send us an email or a letter today and say, okay, as of tomorrow you can open your facility. There'll be no like week warning.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah.
And then what do you think then in terms of, let's say you open back up, and let's say obviously 50%, and then you know, everything goes back to normal, hopefully, over the next couple of weeks and months, and you come back to, obviously we're going to have to keep the procedures in and stuff like that. But do you think there will be any change in the fitness industry, let's say in Dubai or in the United Emirates or anything like that, in terms of how people will approach? Do you think people will be scared to go to the gym? They'll come to the gym more? Like, what do you think is going to happen?
So obviously out here there is like a few kind of very well known and established CrossFit gyms. One of them is actually moving further away from us where we are in Dubai, which is a benefit for us. And there's actually another very well known CrossFit gym, which I won't name, but it actually closed its doors, I think roughly 2 weeks ago. So whenever they had to close the doors because of this pandemic, I think just financially they weren't going well, and that just hit them. And they contacted us and said, look, we will not be reopening our doors at the end of this. So I know they have 2 facilities in Dubai, and we will hopefully like get quite a lot of their members because of their location compared to ours. So whenever we do open the doors, I do feel like we will get quite a lot of new people in our facility. But then on the flip side, I do feel like there's still quite a lot of our members and people in the Middle East that are still very cautious, and they're still not leaving their house. And I think people will still be very scared to leave their house in the initial first few weeks whenever it goes back to, let's say, normal. But it's only time will tell. I think initially we will have like quite a lot of people coming into the facility. We just have to manage that. So we just making sure that they have to book in like prior to class, so we know who's in class, and just managing that. And we're probably going to run the classes like every 90 minutes through the day. So probably from 7 a.m. because we still have the restriction and people can't leave their house up until 6 a.m. So from 7 a.m. right through until probably 9 p.m.
Okay, yeah.
And it'll just be about managing that and trying to get people in, get their workout in, and pretty much getting them out, wipe down equipment, and then go again. And then on top of that, obviously, like probably your gym and most other gyms around Ireland in the world, PTing is a big thing in our facility. All of our coaches would do quite a lot of PTs per month. So that's another thing to manage in terms of, can we actually do that at the start or can't we?
Yeah.
Because obviously the biggest income for us is obviously our memberships through people coming into group classes. So that's priority for us to get them up and going. And one-to-one training we'll probably have to hold back until we have a little bit more freedom with classes.
Yeah, I think people do tend to forget about the PT, especially because obviously coaches do rely on that income a lot. Well, listen, Sam Clark, head coach of CrossFit Alioth, thank you very much for coming on, and hopefully I'll get over to Dubai to you again soon. Thanks, man.